and 2 touchdowns, and the Cowboys are now 8-1. We're joined by former NFL General Manager Michael Lombardi. Welcome, Michael.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. What
Who is
great
morning? Yeah, this is a great
day.
morning.
What a great week. You okay, Shannon?
I'm
All right
good.
over there?
I'm good.
I know it's Aaron Rodgers' fault. Anytime we need to do it, just write that down.
is.
Okay, good. Here we go, Joy.
It's a little Aaron Rodgers' fault. Who's more valuable to the Cowboys, Dak or Zeke?
I think it's the chicken and the egg theory here because I think Dak has played marvelous. Yesterday was outstanding. Zeke is tremendous, but the offensive line, for me, really what makes the difference. And I think when you look at those Giants teams that won the Super Bowl, it was their offensive line. So if I have to answer the question, I'm going to say Zeke, and here's why. Because 3rd and 1 is the hardest play come playoff time, and that game yesterday was a playoff-type game. And Zeke can convert those 3rd and 1s to whether if it's blocked or not blocked. And I think he keeps things going. So for me, it's Zeke, but I think the offensive line is the reason they're so good.
Go ahead, Skip. Go ahead. I don't even want to follow up with that.
I know where it's going, so don't worry, Skip.
Quarterback is the most valuable position in all of sports. It's also the hardest to play. And what Dak Prescott has done as a rookie 4th-round quarterback for the whole franchise is staggering to me because against long odds, with a Tony Romo slowly but surely ready to come back and an owner that clearly wants Tony reinserted in the starting lineup, Dak Prescott played a second half for the ages yesterday. When you go 14 for 17 in the second half for 161 yards, and again, he had some help from Zeke, but 6 out of 8 on 3rd down. Some of them were pinpoint passes too. He's deadly accurate when he has to be accurate, and the clutch gene is high in this kid because now we've seen it 3 times. He almost pulled it off on opening day against the Giants. And he did pull it off against the Eagles at Jerry World, and then he pulled it off against Ben in Pittsburgh with 42 seconds left. And to me, he's changed the whole culture of the team because the defense is believing it can play a little better than it should play. It'll make an occasional play to keep them in the football game. And it's all inspired by the quarterback play because everybody trusts that the quarterback is going to do what needs to get done. They're trusting the quarterback in ways they never trusted Tony Romo. And even yesterday, I hear you on those 3rd downs. He missed one of them. He got stuffed on one of them. But he's very good because he hits the hole so hard and he can cut so quick on a dime at the line of scrimmage and make the first guy miss, which is Emmett-like. But even yesterday, I don't know if Pittsburgh let him score from 14 on the second to last touchdown. I don't know. It looked like they might have. I'm not sure, but he went to the, sort of went around off right tackle, and he just had a walk-in touchdown from 14 before Ben went the other way to score. So that's 14 yards. Then we talked early in the show. He hit a crack against just an all-out blitz, and it was the perfect play, perfect place, perfect time. And he goes 32 yards untouched for a touchdown. So that's 46 yards. But if you subtract the 46 from his 114, the rest of the day he went 19 times for 68 yards, which is 3.6 a carry. He was having a hard time, like a lot of teams might have.
But he got him ahead on the 1st down. I mean, they were really, for your Scott Linehan as a 1st down play caller, they were 1st, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. He controls.
They were also 3rd and 11 at one point, and Dak made the sweetest little move in the pocket and hit Dez up the sideline on a rope right there for 50 yards and a touchdown.
I get that, but I think that when you look at it, that what this kid does in the backfield, he's able to convert those key downs. And look, those are the ones that Jerome Bettis did it for the Steelers. When I was in Oakland, Zach Crockett did it. You have to be able. Look at the New England game yesterday. 4th and goal from 3rd and goal from the 1. If Zeke would have been the back, when Blunt had a chance, when he dove, it's a touchdown. But I think that I get your point on Dax completely. I think Dax just played outstanding. And I think all this is a residue of the offensive line.
You know what, Michael, you make it so easy, and I hate you for this, to agree with Skip Bayless. I don't like agreeing with Skip because he's wrong on so many occasions. But
none?
And then you come out here, Lombardi, and then I have to agree with Skip. Because I agree. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If Zeke is the running back and Matt Castle, Brandon Whedon, Kellen Moore, is their record the same thing?
No, I would say that.
So
I didn't say he wasn't playing well. You asked me if he was the MVP.
Yes.
You phrased the question. I mean, the question wasn't is he better than Kellen Moore? I mean, you're introducing a different subject into this question.
No, actually,
you asked
I'm
me
not.
who the MVP was. The MVP for me is the offensive line. But if I have to give it to anybody, I'm going to give it to the back because the back right there controls it. I think Dak is playing really well. I don't dispute that whatsoever. I'm not, but I think he controls the pace of the game because one thing we saw in both games yesterday, the late game and the night game, was all those defenses, with the exception of probably Seattle, is the offense has got to win the game.
Yes.
And you have to control the pace of the game. And if you don't control the pace of the game, which was the key to the Cowboy-Steeler game, control the pace. That's why the Steelers said, you know what, we'll let them score.
Yep.
Because, and you know what Mike Tomlin's kicking himself? Not for the extra points today. He's kicking himself for scoring too early. He knew it. You knew it. You knew it. 45 seconds now. Maybe you didn't want to admit it, but you knew it.
Spike play.
But you know what? But I never think it's too early to score points because you take them when you can get them.
I agree.
But here's the thing. We saw Darren McFadden run for over 1,000 yards behind that offensive line, averaging 4.6 a carry. The difference in they didn't win last year because their defense is very comparable. They did not have a quarterback that could make throws in crucial moments. Dak is making throws in crucial moments. And Skip, you alluded to, this is the most difficult position on the. He's playing. Not only does he have 11 guys on the defense that are against him, he has an owner that's against him. So he has to beat 12 guys. You don't know how hard
You know who you're sounding like? You know who you're sounding like?
I'm being real. Let me ask,
You know what he sounded like? You know what's happening to you? Here's what's happening. You know when you do a negotiation and somebody says, what do you want? What's the most important thing in the negotiation? And if you tell them what's the most important thing for you, you're done because they give you everything in that negotiation and then you get screwed on all the other things. You're going to be indicted on all these statements 2 or 3 days from now because the attorney over here, your co-counsel, is going to use them all against you and you're falling right into the trap. You're falling right into the trap. I can't believe you're falling into the trap. I like it. You're falling into the trap. Joy, you better help him.
Skip and
getting involved in that.
Skip and I are in the same law firm. And right now we're working on the same case. But when Joy come to me to want me, hey, I'm all against Skip, so just let you. I just want you to know.
See anything like it.
You're the glue. You're what makes this happen. Every time you come on here, they get on the same
It
side.
just so happens that right now, Skip and our co-counsel against you. But there will be a time that I will go back over here and he will be over there. But for this argument,
I thought that was the hottest seat in sports. It got all cool over here. Huh?
But I agree with Skip, and I can't believe it's almost blasphemous for me to say this, but I agree with Skip because the only thing that's really changed, the running game was still as prevalent as it was last. I mean, yeah, Zeke is a better runner than Darren McFadden, but it wasn't like he was averaging 2 yards a carry. He was averaging 4.6. He was over 1,000 yards.
Correct.
The only thing that's really changed is the guy that's under the center, and right now. He's playing well enough.
I don't dispute that. And I think one of the key elements of the game yesterday was right before they went on the field with the 46 seconds. If you notice Dak's presence on that sideline and where he kind of got everybody, and they all said it, you could see it. You had a feeling he was going to bring it back. And Mike Tomlin had the same feeling. Mike Tomlin had the same feeling. Now, did I think they were going to score a touchdown? No. I thought they were going to kick a field goal.
Yep.
And the way he was
Jarvis
kicking,
Jones would have done his responsibility.
they probably would have, and they have done it. You know, yesterday was a weird day for field goals. I mean, an extra point cost New Orleans maybe their season. So I don't know, but I think that Dak's leadership is undisputed in terms of what he brings to the table. There's no question.
Like that term, undisputed.
Right. Well, I'm giving you all the terms here today, but I think
So are you saying you guilty now?
No,
I mean,
I'm
we put on the case and then you stand up and say, Judge, I'm guilty.
I'm saying that Elliott. I'm saying the line. I'm on record as saying I think the line's the most valuable member, but I have to answer the question that you guys posed, so I'm going to go with Elliott. But I'm saying as an executive, when I watch that team, everything starts and ends with their line. It starts and ends. They travel. That's why they win so much on the road. Yeah. Now, this week, they play Baltimore. Baltimore's defensive front is one of the few in the NFL that has the physicality to match them. Okay?
I heard that about the Bengals, but go ahead.
No, but the Ravens for real, because they got a mindset.
And and they'll rise to the occasion. But that we're getting ahead of ourselves here. But I think the reality here is with that back there, it's a whole different game. You put Alfred Morris in there, it's not quite the same thing.
No.
Okay, here's what I love about having Michael Lombardi on the show. You bring the traditional and maybe predictable and sometimes conservative NFL view of Dak Prescott, and I appreciate it to the point of cherishing it because I think a lot of NFL GMs are watching Dak thinking the same thing you are. Jerry Jones is watching Dak thinking the same thing you are. I don't know for sure because he's so unspectacular. He's so subtle in his impact. It's always subtle impact because he can have stretches where he doesn't look great. First half, he wasn't great. They were 1 for 5 on third down the first half. They got out time of possession by 5.5 minutes in the first half. They also had 8 penalties in the first half. Second half, they turned it completely around because he will not wilt. He will not fold. He will not lose heart, and they lose no faith in him. So these are subtle things, the impact. And remember, I'm appreciating the impact because I've lived with Tony Romo for so long, like this, the Rolo, what are they called? The Romo coaster.
And Quincy Carter.
And Quincy Carter. Well, I can just keep going back.
Kim, can I ask you a question? You said, what was Dak's numbers? What was Dak's number yesterday?
Total?
Yeah, I mean, it was 23 of 32.
I only know the second half because that's all I cared about. But go ahead.
But
Yeah,
I think
something like that.
five of those drops came by
Little Cole? Measly Beasley?
Oh!
He had a bad game. He had a bad game. I'll be the first to say.
Please.
I tweeted it. You got to catch that, Cole.
No.
He dropped the third down pass.
You notice what happened? Because he called out the King.
You know what?
And the King put the bad word on and said, this is what I'm going to do for you.
There's some truth to what you're saying because to call out LeBron James put Cole in the spotlight that he's never been in before. He was in the national spotlight for a couple of days over those quotes. And all of a sudden, I got to go out and live up to blasting LeBron James in this game at Pittsburgh? Really? And he's a little butterfingered. He's a little shaky
I
fingered.
would just like to say, Skip, I appreciate that, although I would think I'm not conventional in terms of the way the other people in the league think. That's the one thing I pride myself in.
But you're
because if you're
old
all
school.
thinking alike, no one's thinking. And this is what I will say. You keep saying he's a fourth-round pick. I say to you, he's no longer a fourth-round pick. He is a first-round pick. Should have been the first pick overall in the draft. He's better than Carson Wentz. I don't deny that.
But he wouldn't be what he is now in L.A. He wouldn't be what he is now in Philly.
The thing I disagree with you on that, Shannon, is I think his uniqueness in terms of his leadership, he's got Russell Wilson-esque leadership ability to him. We just don't see it as much as we see it with Russell. And he's got that, and I grant you, like, I'm all in on him. I would, if I was advising Jerry 3 weeks ago, I would have said, Jerry, we're not going back. Let's figure out how we're handling it as an executive in the league. That's what I would say. Because this kid has unique leadership skills. I think he is exactly the kind of player, if the Rams drafted him, you build your team around. That's what you're looking for. Because your best player has to set the intolerance for anything that gets in the way of winning.
Correct.
Okay?
I'm with you.
Jeff Van Gundy line. It sets the intolerance for anything that gets in the way of winning. And that's what Dak does. And that's what you keep referring to. And that's what you saw on the sideline before the 46 seconds. Nothing's going to get in our way. And I don't care about all the distractions with Tony. I don't care if he goes to Jerry's grandson's game. I don't care about the nephew, whatever it is. I'm going to stay here and do this. Go ahead.
But what it
You're
also
just going to get indicted now. Be careful.
When you draft when you identify a player and it's a quarterback, and you select him, and he's what Dak Prescott is, you set up for at least 4 to 5 years where you got a window. You can put all the pieces around him.
Yeah.
Because we saw that with Seattle. They had a window, and they said, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman, Wagner, we're going to keep this, and we're going to try to add a few pieces around him offensively. They got an offensive line that's etched in stone. They got a rookie running back that's on a rookie contract. They got a rookie quarterback on a rookie quarterback contract.
That you can't negotiate.
So they got it for 4 years, Skip, at least 4. They can't go anywhere, can't get any more money. If I'm Jerry Jones, Tony, I love you, Tony. We still going to be friends. But I got to move it, and I'm going to build that
Jerry
defense.
admitted publicly 2 weeks ago,
He did.
my only real regret would be if 36-year-old Tony Romo left here without a Super Bowl. That he admitted it. Like, I need to get my guy a Super Bowl championship. And what better way to give him the opportunity than to hand him a 8-1 team, 8-2 team, 9-1, whatever it is.
Validation.
Yeah.
But don't you think, I mean, look, Romo is a competitor and he wants to play, but he's not selfish. He sees what's happening on the field. He's got to sit there and say, you know what, this is not really the right spot. He's competitive, but he can't be selfish. There's two.
So let me ask you a question, Michael Lombardi. If Jerry Jones were to insert Tony Romo in the lineup, would he tell Jerry Jones, Jerry, I can't do it. This man playing too well. Yes,
I would say if you're not a selfish player, you would have to say that you put me in a bad spot.
That's not what I meant. You just skip. Now, he just said Tony is not selfish.
I don't think Tony's turning down the starting job for the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think you want to mess with the chemistry.
Healy, just give me 1 second. If Jerry Jones was inserted into the starting lineup, would he tell Jerry, I can't do this. This thing is going too good. He's an unselfish. That's what you said. He said he's very unselfish.
We're not giving him credit for being unselfish. We don't know. He hasn't spoken to anybody. We're reading his mind. And you might be a mind reader.
We got to leave it there.
So now Tony Romo's going to do something no other quarterback would ever done.
We got to leave it there. Coming up, the Seahawks exposed Patriots defense last night. Michael knows New England as well as anyone. He talks about the defense a lot. He'll break it down for us next.